Bitcoin was created as a reaction to banks, bailouts, and centralized power. But today, Wall Street ETFs holds millions of BTC, banks offer Bitcoin custody, and institutions influence the market more than ever. So the question is simple: is Bitcoin still what Satoshi Nakamoto intended it to be? In this video, we'll explore how Bitcoin may have drifted away from its original vision, why institutions now dominate it, and whether this evolution is inevitable or a betrayal of its core idea. To understand what Bitcoin has become, we first need to understand why it was created. In 2008, the global financial system collapsed. Banks took reckless risks, government printed money, and everyday people paid the price. Just weeks after Lehman Brothers collapsed, an anonymous person or group known as Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin white paper. Its title said it all: a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. No banks, no intermediaries, no trusted third parties. Bitcoin was meant to allow people to transact freely, directly, and without permission. As its core, Bitcoin stood for a few radical ideas: decentralization, censorship, resistance, self-custody, and limited supply. The famous Genesis block even included the message: the Times 03 January 2009. Canceller on brick on second bailout for banks. That wasn't an accident. It was a statement. Bitcoin wasn't just new money. It was a protest against the existing system. Fast forward to today, and the landscape looks very different. Bitcoin is now held by hedge funds, pension funds, and corporations. Spot ETFs allow institutions to gain exposure without ever touching the network. Ironically, many of the same banks Bitcoin was designed to replace are now its custodians. They hold the keys, they manage the access, they profit from the volatility. Bitcoin didn't replace banks, it was absorbed by them. When institutions control large portions of Bitcoin, decentralization becomes weaker, not stronger. Market manipulation becomes easier, and everyday users become price takers, not participants. Most people don't run nodes, most don't self-custody. Unfortunately, they buy Bitcoin on apps that look suspiciously similar to banks. If Bitcoin exists mostly as a number of a custodial platform, are we really using it or just speculating on it? Some argue this was inevitable, that mass adoption requires institutions, that Bitcoin had to integrate with the system to survive. Others believe this is the exact opposite of what Bitcoin was meant to become: a tool for financial freedom, not another asset controlled by elites. Maybe the Bitcoin didn't fail. Maybe we misunderstood what success would look like. Mass adoption or financial freedom? You can't have both. Not everything is lost. Bitcoin is still open source, still permissionless, still censorship resistant, if people choose to use it in that way. The technology hasn't changed, but how we use it has. The question isn't whether banks own Bitcoin, it's whether you do. Bitcoin's future isn't decided by institutions alone, it's decided by users who remember why it was created in the first place. So maybe the real question isn't whether Bitcoin has drifted from Satoshi's vision, but whether we have. What about the current state? Well, you can see the price of Bitcoin going up, going down. You see those Bart Simpsons on charts. It's heavily manipulated. But those on the top don't like to buy expensive, don't like to buy something when the price is already pumped. They want to buy cheap. And that's why, regardless all the good stuff that was happening in the crypto space after so many changes into the positive, I remember back in the days it was so much more complicated to get into crypto. Today it's easy. It's much more regulated than it was before. And still the price goes down. Nobody talks about crypto, nobody talks about Bitcoin. Something is suspicious. Sailor is buying a bunch of tokens and price still going down. You know who is owning media? That's why there is no that much talk. That's why there is no hype around it. because they want the price lower, and they will get it because you will sell it. So don't fall to those tricks. Don't sell it. Keep your Bitcoin. And we have this. We had the same situation before, and we survived. We will survive this time again. So keep stacking. See you in the next video.